gaming isn't fun anymore. Gaming isn't fun anymore. The reason why gaming isn't fun anymore. Gaming isn't fun anymore. I quit gaming. How to enjoy games again. Games are not fun. Ah, man. I think this is also a symptom of just like what life is like now, you know, being more disconnected from everybody. And the way life has changed and what being an adult actually means. Yeah, I 100% feel that. Oh, I made a tweet about pro gamers. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. For me personally, like, everybody's like dropping why gaming isn't fun anymore videos. Everybody's so cynical about gaming. I don't know about you guys, but I've been having a ball when it comes to gaming. Even when it comes to some AAA gaming, even though I don't play AAA games that much, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I guess since I was younger, I never bought that many AAA games. They're expensive. And so I just never had that many AAA games. It wasn't like my family wasn't like poor or anything, but I don't know. Just for me personally, I look at like $60. I'm like, that's a lot of money. When I go to like another game and I'm just like, that's a little bit of money. And I could buy it without having to worry about asking anybody else for like waiting a long time to get it. You know what I mean? So I was never like super duper quadruple into AAA games when I was younger, but you know, some. I played a lot of, I forget if Crash Bandicoot was considered AAA back in its day, but you know, I played that a lot, and I think those were definitely like reasonably priced games at the time. It's just that I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun when it comes to gaming recently. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I really feel like a lot of the people who make so many like gaming sucks these days, gaming is so L these days, gaming isn't fun anymore these days, are all just like not all of them, but a lot of them are like the Call of Duty, like the Call of Duty kids from way back in the day. You know what I mean? The Call of Duty kids who are like always play. I actually made a tweet about this, and I'm not saying and I'm just saying just like I feel like this taints your I feel like it taints your experience a little bit, that like every game you played when you were younger and enjoyed and had a fond memory of is like the same game over and over again. I feel like we have more variety in AAA games. Well, maybe not ever, but like there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of good stuff happening in like really good games. Maybe, I don't know, it may just be me. I may be confusing some, you know, AAA, AA games with AAA games or something, but I don't know. I played like a really big variety of games when I was growing up, and I guess you can kind of tell by how I really just like, you know, dig into a game, then maybe go into the next thing, and then just like bounce around all over the place. Metal Gear and Bloodborne. I never actually played a Metal Gear or a Bloodborne game in my entire life. Or I guess I haven't played Bloodborne. I can't say Bloodborne game. But people always want to count hits and not misses when it comes to their viewpoints. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. What you know what? It may be, you know what it is? I'm going to admit something here. It may be me being a little salty because I fell in love with Splatoon in like 2022 when it came out. And I still absolutely adore Splatoon for what it does. And I find it so incredibly unique and amazing when it comes to, I would consider Splatoon a AAA game, you know? Like it is a AAA game. I think by every stretch of the imagination, it is a AAA game. It just may not be the type of AAA game that a lot of people understand, because I think these days when people say AAA game, what they mean is goddamn Unity 5, ray tracing out the wazoo, like motion tracking, this and that, voice acting, just absolute. They just think of like the God of War games, and they're like, oh yeah, this is a AAA game. I like Splatoon's definitely a AAA game. Like its scope is big. It's an entire casual and competitive shooter with casual and competitive game modes. It has both a like Splatoon is literally like what Overwatch nerds want Overwatch to be. And it has been for like 8 years. And it's just so funny to me, right? Because I remember when the Games Fest or like the Game of the Year awards or the Game of the Year awards were happening, okay? And like Overwatch 1.2, which is called Overwatch 2, came out, and everybody's like, Overwatch 2 is like completely ass. It's horrible. It's terrible. It should be the best multiplayer game of the year. And then like all the Warzone nerds who've been playing COD since they've been like 6 years old and could walk and talk, who've been playing the same exact game, who ask their parents for the same game every single year, are playing Warzone. and are like, this game is completely ass, but I'm addicted to COD and I don't know what else to do with my life, so I'm going to keep playing Warzone and I'm going to keep hating my life, and I'm gonna keep complaining about it online, came up, and then like best multiplayer game of the year came up, and both the Overwatch and Warzone kids were like, I can't believe Splatoon won. This shit doesn't even make any sense. And yes, of course it makes sense. You don't play anything besides your one game that you really like. Like, it does really make sense, okay? You've just been playing you know, Overwatch and COD, and that's literally it for the last 6 years and 8 years of your life. Like, come on, brother. It does make sense. It's a really good game. Listen, I just hope anybody who was like, why the fuck is Splatoon not like a multiplayer game of the year, who played Overwatch and genuinely were like, you know, maybe it's still Overwatch 1.5, but you know, maybe it'll be something. Everybody who was holding out a hope that Activision Blizzard was going to do something good, where like the absolute like, are you okay, brother? Brother, you actually thought Overwatch, you actually thought Activision Blizzard was going to do something good? Thought that they were actually unironically going to get that that PvE mode that Splatoon has? Remember that? Remember when did anybody see that? Was anybody keeping up with the news recently? If you didn't know, okay, what happened is that the big reason for why Overwatch 1 had to be killed was because they were making a new Overwatch 2 that's going to be like Overwatch 1, but it's going to be having a little bit of a broader scope in the normal gameplay, and they're going to be adding a fully fledged PvE co-op optional campaign mode that can just stand at its own game all by itself, and you don't even need to touch the multiplayer. It's replayable. It's absolutely amazing. It's entirely separate thing that is as, if not more fleshed out than the multiplayer end. And that's what we're going to be doing. And that's what's going to be happening. It's going to be like, yeah, like Destiny, but just Overwatch 2. Okay. Like 2 days ago, they came out and said that, oh yeah, remember that? That shit ain't happening. So the only reason that Overwatch 1 exists now, Overwatch 2 exists now, is to have more loot boxes. Have more stuff in the another reason to keep pushing the battle pass. A new reason to like resell the battle pass and add more skins and shit like that. Cause that shit ain't happening. But Splatoon already has it. Splatoon already has like a fully fledged single player mode that you can play and spend, like, how long was it? How long did we spend in the single player mode? What was it, like 8 hours? I spent 8 hours and didn't even care about finishing anywhere near all of the content. It is a full single player mode with built-in replayability and a PvE mode, and nobody gives a shit. And I'm not saying that you need to love Splatoon, but like, it's okay if you don't like it, that's fine. But like, I feel like there are actually really cool games out there that people just don't give a shit about. I mean, like, what was it even called? It's not, Rumbleverse. Rumbleverse was also a really cool and interesting game as well. A battle royale, but it's wrestling and like yeah, the battle royale, but it's like WWE. That's really cool. It's a really good idea. I'm not really into battle royales, but I thought it was a great idea, and a lot of people who say they're looking for new things just didn't give a shit about that either, really. I don't know. My thing is, maybe I'm cynical about the cynical gaming community, but from what I've seen from the cynical gaming community, a lot of them are, I don't know, a lot of like video game players are just like stupid. I don't know, just sometimes when I look at a lot of stuff and their complaints, I mean, like, man, just like load up a different game for once in your life. Pick something other than a online multiplayer shooter. Have you thought about spending more than like a passing looks like trash tweet or YouTube comment on anything besides like a multiplayer shooter in your entire life? Just anything besides that? Just give it a try. Doesn't even have to not even be a multiplayer game, you know? I don't know, just for me, a lot of these people who are like, I know not all of them, but I don't know, I feel like there's so many people out there who play goddamn like NBA 2K, you know, like goddamn NBA 2K, the new God of War game, Overwatch and Call of Duty. And that's just like the new 2 God of War games, Overwatch and Call of Duty, and then Horizon Zero Dawn. And now we're like, it's over. Gaming is over. Gaming is over. My fucking brother. My brother only plays 2K games and nothing else, right? And 2K is like EA, but like 2K is like EA in its larva state, which is so funny to me. And then like, man, gaming just doesn't feel like it used to. You're an adult now. All the games that you played are like, to you are like jingling keys. Literally, please play something else. People can't, I don't know, man. People just never want to let go of their boo-boo keys. Some people just never want to let go of their boo-boo keys. And it's just, man, just try something else. Give it a try. Used to play 2K games? Yeah. You sound like the type. They be playing like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, and Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, and Call of Duty on their PS4 and 5, and now they're like, gaming's over, bro. Gaming is over. Gaming doesn't feel. And then gaming isn't fun anymore. Gaming isn't fun anymore. The reason why gaming isn't fun anymore. Gaming isn't fun anymore. I quit gaming. How to enjoy games again. Games are not fun. Ah, man. I think this is also a symptom of just like what life is like now, you know, being more disconnected from everybody. And the way life has changed and what being an adult actually means. Yeah, I 100% feel that. But like, I don't know, all games suck. You know, I think this video really did this for me. I think it was this one's the one that came up because I think this is the one of the ones that I watched on my main account, honestly. But like, I don't know, man, this fucking goddamn Dr. Disrespect clip blew my fucking mind. Okay, he was like, I hate Warzone. I can't do this shit anymore. Games aren't fun anymore. This sucks. I'm gonna play more Warzone.
I think as she realized that games were more simple than she had first assumed, some of the intrigue about them faded.
There's a massive lack of innovation, which brings me to the last decade, and that's...
Man, I don't know. I may be able to find it here. Wait 1 second. But Dr. Disrespect did that. He was like, this gaming shit ain't fun no more. He was like, I hate this fucking... I hate this goddamn Warzone bullshit. I'm not gonna play anything else though. I will give credit to Dr. Disrespect because I did hear that he wanted to branch out. I think after the Games Fest, or the Game Awards, I think he was like, I'm gonna try Splatoon. I'm not sure if he ever did. And I'm not saying that you need to like Splatoon. You don't. There's no reason that you need to like it. I'm just saying that, like, you know, there are games out there that you could branch out to that are genuinely what you're looking for. You just need to actually care to look for it. I feel like a lot of people simply just don't. I don't know. My thing is, maybe it's just me. I'm not sure if like how do you even judge whether or not games are less innovative these days, right? Like maybe they're talking about like the big AAA games, right? But like, let's be honest with ourselves. Were the big AAA games really that innovative? Were all of them really that innovative? And if they were, was it really because they were innovative because they were innovative, or was it they were innovative because they were the first people in their craft to really do it? You know? Were they really that innovative because there weren't that many people out there doing what they were doing, and gaming is bigger and more ubiquitous now? And so there's more likely for things to be samey. You know, I mean, you know, the Atari and like, Pong was innovative back in its day. It's not really today, you know. If somebody made something like Pong, you'd be like, oh, this is Pong. But I feel like games are actually pretty innovative still, even today. There are a lot of cool stuff in games, even today. Like genuinely really sick stuff. Shark about to come to the conclusion that capitalism actually disincentivizes innovation. Bro, I am a socialist. What are you talking about? I'm not talking about socialism here. I'm not talking about socialism right now. That's why I didn't mention it. I know, okay. Some people, I don't know. So I may be a little sensitive to that right now. I got some weird comments. So listen, cut me some slack if I snap a little bit. Love you, okay? Love you, okay? No, it's fine. No need to be sad. Ban him, ban him. No, it's just like I don't know. Everybody has their own theory about. I still kind of want to make a video on this. Actually, I think this may be the impetus to me making a video on this. Honestly, cause like there's so many people with so many bad takes about what's going on in the gaming industry. I genuinely think the gaming industry is relatively in an okay spot. Like there's been bad shit all the time. There's just more opportunity for people to do, for like publishers to do bad things now. But we have so many more games, and it's so much better than it ever possibly could be. And even when games like come out and flop, they can be better. Back in the day when games came out and flopped, that's it. You're done. It's over. It's over. And a lot of people are, and also I feel like a lot of people are getting really mad at a lot of games when it comes to, you know, PC ports. I feel like PCs are more complicated than they ever have been in the history of humankind, and are only going to get more complicated. Like before, like back in the day, right? And like if you released a game in the mid 1990s, how many systems you got to make that game for? One? And everybody had literally the exact same system? And then computers came out, but nobody was really modding their computers. What? You made a game for what, like 2 computers, 3, and you knew exactly what every single one of them were going to be like? Now everybody's got RGB goddamn bullshit with the Razer Cat 1450 with the Asus 75i 253 71 1125253 in like the goddamn whatever case with the whatever fucking board with hot glued the RAM that barely fits into it, and now they're like, now make it run. And I'm like, well, it's a little harder than that. The PC ports are way, like, I feel like a lot of people don't think about how hard PC ports are to make. And even if, you know, and like some games do drop and they're perfectly fine, some games don't. And honestly, the more innovative your game is, the harder it's going to be to actually make that shit run. And I'm not saying that every PC port that has flopped recently is because, oh, it's just so hard. Yeah, they definitely could have put more work into it. I'm not saying that they couldn't have. I'm saying this, I don't know, man. A lot of people, a lot of shitty fucking gamers are mad at devs when they're trying to do their goddamn best, when you guys are always down their throats. Like you try making a 60 gigabyte game work on 10 billion combinations of computer. It's not, I would imagine it's not as hard as you think that it is. I would imagine it's not as easy as you think that it might be. And I know it's literally their job, okay? But I know a lot of the people who are playing these damn games have been fired from fucking like McDonald's, and put burger in bag and hand it to guy is literally your job. Don't smoke in the break room and put burger in bag and hand it to guy is like literally your job. Trying to talk to devs about how easy it is to actually like make a good PC port. I'm actually, if I'm going to be like completely honest with you, moving into the future, I expect more games to not necessarily run on release as well as we might think that it does. Not because devs and publishers are necessarily lazy now, which, you know, that definitely could be the case in certain circumstances. I think it's just because it's gonna be harder to make a game work. As computers get more complicated, having a one singular, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, like, we have problem making Windows work on our computer, and the shit's literally built for it. Now let's get some guy making some weird program run on every single piece of hardware known to man. I mean, come on. Windows updates itself every single week, and it's literally made to do this. Its only job is to run. And it comes like sometimes it even comes pre-installed. Like, cut my devs a little slack. Like, if you pre-order and you're really passionate and it's a dev that has like a good history, I don't think that's a problem. Even if it doesn't work, I also don't think that's a problem, because if you trust that dev, within the week they're going to be releasing a patch. And I'm not saying like it has to be like 7 days, but I'm talking like maybe the next day, within 2 days, maybe even 3. If they're a decent dev that you're pre-ordering from, and I don't think you should pre-order from some random fucking dev that isn't proving themselves, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. And I know we don't want to wait for it, and I know like we should be asking for more, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I think publishers should give devs time to be able to optimize their games for it to be squeaky clean and polished. I'm not saying that's not happening. Sorry, I'm not saying that shouldn't happen, but I'm also not saying that isn't happening. You don't know all of the internal workings and the machinations going on in a lot of like dev studios. You don't know if they did, and you don't know if they literally did their best and it still just wasn't good enough. Sometimes that just happens. They're people. It's just, I don't know, it just seems hard. I mean, browser games barely work, and it's only supposed to work in your browser. like those bug out and crash sometimes, and you can put your heart and soul and everything into it, but it can still has problems. Now give it its own damn launcher and have it run perfectly on 17 quadrillion combinations of computer. You know, it's crazy. I don't really pre-order. I pre-ordered before, and I've never been screwed over by a pre-order, but I don't pre-order that often. My face when I'm joining the frenzy. I'm happy to have you. ESL project ran by humans. They're making it happen. They're doing a lot of the times they're doing their best. I don't know. It may just be me. I don't think gaming is in as dire of in as dire straits as a lot of people say that it is. Like, obviously there are problems, and there are going to be problems moving into the future, but I genuinely think that we're doing pretty well for ourselves. Honestly, I feel like gamers are eating pretty good. I feel like we genuinely are eating pretty good. Actually, since AI can code things, it might get worse. Well, it might, but also they can't copyright that part of the code, which means somebody can literally just yoink it. So if they try to, you know, AI their way out of a tough, you know, coding situation, somebody can just yoink it, and that part of their game is just unable to be monetized. I think a lot of places are just not. I think a lot of places are just not going to be using AI simply because it opens them up to people yoinking their software, and there's no legal recourse that they can, you know, that they can employ now, because if they take it and a bot made it, congratulations, it's everybody's. How much of crunch is caused by bad management? All of it. All of it. Literally all of it. Every single last 90% of it. It's not all of it. Because a lot of it could also be through passion and just thinking, well, actually, no, my bad, all of it, sorry. I was going to say not all of it, but I was like, actually, no, never mind, it's all of it again. Because a good manager should stop their workers from crunching. Like, a good manager is going to have mandatory overtime. A good, not mandatory overtime. A good manager is going to have mandatory off time. A good manager is going to have mandatory leave. And so even if there's like somebody or something has brought in a culture of trying to make these things happen and to make crunching, you know, be something that they're actually are going to be doing, the manager should be there to be like, hey, stop. You're working yourself to the bone and you got to stop. That's your job as a manager. It's not only stopping your employees from doing like good things. Sorry, stopping your employees from doing bad things. It's stopping your employees from doing like things that are good but bad for them as well in the long run. So yeah, all of it is caused by managers. Whether it's induced by managers, that's a different thing. But a culture of crunch is caused by managers. Either the failure of the managers to stop crunch, or the malfeasance of the managers to push crunch. It's one of the two. People should go to jail over it. Well, it's hard to go to jail over it, especially when it's like soft threats or something. You know, it's very hard to do that. But you know, and also like what crunch is a little harder to define as well. But I think labor laws definitely need to be tightened 100%. I don't know necessarily what crunch is, right? Like crunch isn't a defined, crunch is an industry term. Crunch is not a defined legal term. Overwork, like abuse, those would be more of. Oh, do labor laws define crunch? Like, is crunch like a legal term? Can you go to court and be like, Your Honor, my client was crunched the fuck up, and the judge will be like, oh shit, word? They have no protection. Yeah, what I mean is like, you know, it's not like a by the books like crime. You can if you know, like if your business is just like, or you have like a studio that's producing a game, and then the people there like want to sleep there, and then they're like, I'm going to be working even more overtime. I'm not going to go home. I bought a toothbrush and I, you know, take a shower in the fucking sink, you know, and they're just there all day, every day. And they're just doing that type of stuff, or they sleep in or you kick them out, but they're sleeping in their car in the driveway. Sorry, not the driveway. They sleep in their car in the parking lot, you know. Necessarily that would be allowed by crunch, but for the worker, for like the managers and the higher ups to be held culpable for that, you would have to change the laws. There would have to be new laws in the books or something. It would be way harder than you think to actually prosecute something like that. I am a developer. I am a developer. Song in chat. It's another Hotline Miami song, Stinko. Just like all of the ones that you like.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it.
Thank you, Boo.